24. They're a little ornery on this one. 2017. Look what they gave us here. If the average value is 12, they gave us the average value. They want to know what this is. You're like, okay. I know what average value is. I know average value. And maybe I'm just going to remind myself, give me a black pen. Come on. Is the average value we know is 1 over b minus a from a to b of my function. We know that. We're on page 3. What are we replacing average value with? 12. What about my a and my b here? What do we think? What's my a and my b? Yeah, so I'd say 1 over 6, because before minus negative 2, that's 6, from negative 2 to 4 of my function. And notice this doesn't quite match that yet, does it? This doesn't quite match that yet, and that's okay. How can I start solving for this? Dividing by 1/6 is the same as multiplying by 6. I love that, Carrie. She says, all right, let's go multiply both sides by 6. 12 times 6, no calculator. 72 equals negative 2 to 4 of my function. What do we need to do to that? Yeah, so you guys, just so you know, and again, you haven't seen this yet, I can rewrite this whole thing over 8 is equivalent to this written that way. It's the same thing. I could also write it as 1/8 negative 2 to 4 f of x dx. All of these are equivalent. So you guys, what am I going to do to this? Because they said, what is this value? Exactly, you guys. Divided by 8. 72 divided by 8 is 9. Notice these answers. They're ready for a 72 right there. So have I seen that one often? No, but I was like, it wasn't that long ago. I'll throw that in there. Okay, last thing from me, and then you are done with me. It says the temperature of water in a bucket. What's happening to that temperature? It's going up. Must be hot outside. It's increasing. Use a trapezoidal sum. You're like, oh my gosh, I've not talked about trapezoids in a while. That's why we're doing it. Here's the deal, you guys. Before Monday, trapezoidal sum would have looked like this. And what that means is we would be estimating the area under that curve from 0 to 15 to estimate the average, I shouldn't have used the word average, to estimate that area under the curve. What are they having us do now with a 1/15th out front? Which would then calculate the average. This is going to find that average value. So what I first want us to focus on, trapezoidal rule is just going to get my 0 to 15. Notice that I stopped us at 15 because trapezoidal rule is kind of annoying and I didn't want to make us go the whole way. Greer remembered that the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 height times bases. Very good. Base 1 plus base 2. So let's just go find, I'm even going to put it this way, from 0 to 15 of W of t. Let's go start with that. What's the area of the first trapezoid? Again, I'm actually even going to just jot these down. You do not need to draw this. I just want to jog your memory real fast. If I had 0 and 4 and 9 and 15, and I've got these values, I'm just going to shorten them. 55, I'm going to say 58, I'm going to say 63, 68.9, and then I'll even throw 20 on here just so we got it. Okay, so if this is my function, you guys, when we're looking at a trapezoidal rule, I would have to draw a trapezoid here. What would be the height of my trapezoid? The x's, exactly. Isn't that height going to be 4 there? What would base 1 be? And base 2? Beautiful. So I'm going to say my height, you said, was 4. My bases were 55, and I'm going to view it accurately. So we got my bases of 55 and 58.1. My next trapezoid, 1/2 its height. What would be the, oh, look at that. Now things are falling apart. Can't do that anymore. My next height, oh gosh, this is when I get so sad. Okay, let's see. Oh, nope, can't do it. Okay, 1/2. You're saying this was 4, so this is 5 here. What are the bases of this trapezoid now? Nice. Yes, so I'm going to get rid of this guy now because it's going to make me weep. So, okay. You're saying 58.1 and 63.8. Did we use this 58.1 twice? Yeah, and we do that in trapezoidal rule. And my last height. Good. Bases.
63.8, 68.9.
Perfect. You guys, that just found us the area under the curve, an estimate, an approximation. They're saying, okay, thanks for using the trapezoidal rule. Now, uncover minutes times Fahrenheit. Isn't that what we really did? And then what did we divide by? 15 is referring to minutes. So what's going to happen with those minutes? Yeah. So this, it says using proper units, interpret my answer. My unit is degrees Fahrenheit. The average temperature, oh my God, Gary is perfect. She says the average temperature. If we don't say average, then they're not going to give us the point because that 1/15 is saying average. The average temperature of the water in the bucket, love it, we got to just use that context, is
61.937.
perfect. We aren't getting the point right now. At T equals, or maybe we say 0 between, like that. Or you could say between 0 and 15 minutes. Either way, like that. Something to denote the time period, or else they're not going to give us that point. Bless you. Okay, let's go take a peek at page 4. Question 1 here. So we're at question 1. I skipped the top question. We're going to come back to that. Question 1, it says the rate of flow of gasoline in gallons per second is modeled by G. You guys, did they, even though they named it G, this is actually a G prime, right? Rate of flow. Okay. Between 0 and 150. Using this model, find the average rate of flow between 0 and 150. Average value. 1/150th. From?
0 to 150.
You got it. Of?
G of T.
G of T, exactly. Because on the AP test, time is going to be an issue. I personally would not write that G of T out. This is a calculator active question. You guys typing this in our calculator is a bear. A lot of us got it wrong when we typed it in. So just make sure you're literally doing exactly what they have. Notice double parentheses right here. Double parentheses is a game changer. If you only put 1 right here, they're going to get it wrong.
So wait, let me make sure I'm radians.
Yep, go back to radians.
And it's,
Math 9. Cosine, parenthesis, x over 120, and then out of 1 parenthesis, square it. Yes, 0.096. Now, since they didn't ask for units, let's avoid it. What? But it would have been gallons per second, Stevie, because we're just finding that average rate. Good. You guys, this now is going back in time a little bit. Using this model, find G prime of 140. So just derive it. We've got a calculator. I didn't write that you got a calculator. You got a calculator. Can my calculator do that for us? Yeah, math what?
8.
Math 8, exactly. You guys, we're going to math 8 that function one more time. Again, really practicing typing it in. X over 500, cosine parenthesis, x over 120. Outside of one parenthesis, you got to square that thing. Very particular. Guys, what are we going to say when x equals what? When x equals 140 is where they care about this one.
I had a negative.
No, that's a good question. This is just strictly, they just asked for g prime of 140. So we're just going to straight up derivative at 140. 3 decimals, what would we say on that?
-0.005.
Beautiful. Okay, you guys, look at what they're asking now. Interpret the meaning. You guys, we just found g prime. The rate. The rate. Okay, so you agree that they gave us a rate. It's going to be something squared because they already gave us the rate, as Stevie said, was in gallons per second.
The rate is decreasing.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. He's saying, let's use context, you guys. This G was the rate of flow of gasoline. Don't make up your own words. Use the words that they use.
Is decreasing by
The rate of flow of gasoline is decreasing at a rate of, love that. Do we say negative 0.005 or 0.005? We already said decreasing. That takes the place of the negative. Very good. You guys are A+. 0.005, what would our units be? Gallons per second squared. There's one thing we have to add to that or we're not getting the point.
because
At. Thank you, Lai.
at 140 gallons. Seconds.
At t equals 140 seconds.
T is measured in seconds.
Exactly. T is my time, and in this case, it's seconds. Here's the diff. Here's where I struggled when I first was coming back to AP Calc. I was like, dang it. They often ask for average value versus average rate of change. And what the heck is the difference between these two? Like what we just did here, average rate of flow, because they gave us that flow. We found it. So that's that average value versus that average rate of change. So let's just remind ourselves, we know average value. Let's go say that average value is, again, 1 over that b minus a from a to b of my function. And I went ahead and described that as, I use the words as like the average quantity, if I'm trying not to use my word in the definition. I just said that that's the average quantity or a rate, whatever it is, over that period of time. Versus, how would we describe average rate of change? It's just that slope. But we've got to be really careful with that slope because a derivative is also a slope, right? A derivative is an instantaneous rate of change. My velocity at any point in time. Average rate of change, like let's say that my function just looked like this. Boop. What's average rate of change going to be? Exactly. He's saying, oh, it's just that change in y over change in x. This one's just change in y over change in x. So, change in y over change in x. We just got to be careful with when they ask which. And it's very, depends on the words. It's hard to know when. I wrote average rate of slope.
That's fine.
Oh, golly. Oh, geez. This is the average rate of change. Thanks. They're going to be very specific. They're going to say, what is the average rate of change when they want you to find change in y over change in x? Okay, they're going to say it that way. So, let's see if we can think. This is from 2012. Right here. Particle moves along the x-axis. The velocity and acceleration are v and a, which gives us the average velocity. Do you think they're asking for an average rate of change or an average value? Value. I know, it's really, the wording is hard.
Value is velocity, so
Agreed. When they,
average, change would be acceleration.
and they're going to say average rate of change if they want that change in y over change in x. So if we want the average velocity, they're actually asking for that average value. Therefore, which two do you feel good about getting rid of?
The A and
E and
Agree. A and E, because those are going to be, they're trying to do a little change in y over change in x there.
and get rid of D.
Why?
Because
one
it's
half.
Yeah, instead of b minus a, my b minus a,
minus 0.
8 minus 0 is going to get me 1/8 there, not 1/2. Yeah.
You don't need absolute.
The absolute value, we're going to learn in 8.2. Anyone have a idea what that's going to refer to? Okay, it's talking about my total distance that I went versus positive and negative velocities. If my velocity is positive, I move to the right. If my velocity is negative, I move to the left. When a police officer clocks you, are they saying you were going negative 75 miles an hour? They just say your speed, right? So this is referring to my average speed or my total distance exactly. So the answer would be B there. And